Hi, welcome back to Oversharing with Laura. Today I'm going to make this video about earplugs, and I'm going to give you a review of like two types that I own and let you know the benefits of both of them and the things that I don't like quite so much. And then also near the end I'm going to talk a little bit about misophonia, so that way if you're just interested in like my personal earplugs review, then you don't have to watch the rest of that. You can just stop the video. But we're going to start by talking about the two types of earplugs that I use. One of them on a daily basis and the other one occasionally. So the type that I'm going to start with is this type that's in my ear right now. This is the Flare Calmer earplug. Looks like this. And it has this little hole through the middle. And so that should make it pretty clear that this is not a noise canceling earplug by any means. And I think a lot of people really misunderstood that based on some of like the comments and reviews and stuff I've seen. It does not muffle sound at all, except maybe sounds in a distance are a little bit muffled. Here's a little bit messed up. But as far as like the sounds nearby and around you, it doesn't muffle them at all. It actually makes them clearer and easier to hear, including, music, conversation, all of that stuff. So you're probably thinking, what in the world does this thing actually do? It fits inside the ear canal, just right inside the ear, and it sort of redirects sound a little bit to relieve distortion. And it does help with some misophonia issues. Also, for me, it's called Calmer, and it really does keep you calmer. It relaxes me just to put them on. I put them in, and I'm like, almost every time I just sigh, like, ugh. Or, my shoulders drop. The tension that I'm carrying in my forehead just kind of eases. Because for me, there's just this constant, like, background resonance of high-pitched sound. And it's not tinnitus. I want that to be really clear. This does not keep you from hearing the sounds of tinnitus. In fact, if anything, I hear them more clearly. That tinnitus is an internal sound, and this is like external sounds. It's like blocking certain frequencies for things that are like super high pitched, which for me equals pain. Pain. And I don't know if it's just like my ears aren't working right or my brain's not working right, or if it's like lights or electricity, but there's just always this like high pitched thing going on. And that's indoors, it's everywhere. It's these eliminate that, and it's instant. You can tell as soon as you put them in that your comfort level just skyrockets, and it really does help to keep you a little bit calmer. On days where I have forgotten to put them on because it was a busy morning and I'm like, halfway through my commute and I realize I'm not wearing them, I panic a little bit. But I go through my day perfectly fine. It's just I can feel that I'm more tense, and I'll end up with a headache at the end of the day, and it's uncomfortable. Mood wise, not as good, probably. These are great. They have different types. There's like a pro type these are silicone, that has like an aluminum on the inside. I don't know really what that does. There's also a mini that's slightly smaller than this, and I think as far as backup pair, which I'm going to order because I live in fear of like losing one or both of these things. I'll probably order the mini and see, because my ears are pretty small. I think it might be a little more comfortable. You can fill them like in your ear the whole time, but they're comfortable. They don't hurt in any way. And I have, my tragus piercing here. It's perfectly comfortable to wear them. I don't ever feel like it's being lost inside my ear, because you get this little thing here just to grab onto. They're pretty discreet unless you're looking really close, and with all the piercings, who knows what's going on there anyway. They are something that I put on like as part of my morning routine now. I'll wear them throughout the day, at work, with children. I don't ever feel like my hearing is impacted at all. I can hear things perfectly fine. And I will wear them sometimes at home too. I live, unfortunately, catty corner to a car wash. And let me tell you, people will wash their car 24/7. And it does not matter how the weather is. Like, they will be out there in the snow, the sleet. It will be storming. And not only are they washing their car in the rain, okay? They will also be vacuuming it out. And I'm like, what did you do in your car that you need to be vacuuming it at 2 a.m. in the sleet? I feel like it should be investigated. Anyway, all of those are really like high-pitched sounds. And I have found that instead of sitting there in my living room in a state of rage all evening, I can wear these and I don't even notice it. Like, I can hear it, but I've tuned it out. It's not grating on my nerves constantly. I can even sit with like my windows open and it's okay. It's not really bothering me that much. I think these are awesome. I'm definitely ordering more. I'm always afraid. Like, I feel like maybe I should be stockpiling these, because what happens if they quit making them? How am I going to live? But I feel like they're going to be really long lasting. I wash them out at night and just let them dry and stuff. They even have a sleep kind made of a softer silicone that you can use to sleep in. I don't know that I need that, but it's something I might try at some point. They're not super expensive. And I think, if you order them from Amazon, you would get them faster. I actually ordered mine straight from the manufacturer, not realizing it was going to be coming from Germany. It took a really long time to get. Okay, so the next ones are the loop earplugs. And these are ones you've probably seen before if you've shopped around a lot. They're pretty popular. They're cool looking. They look like this. And I'll put this one in. They fit into the ear like this, so that you have the little loop part showing. I expected, I guess, something a little more like the flare earplugs. These are more like earplugs. Like, they do muffle sound. So if you're looking to muffle sounds and lower all the sounds that you're hearing, these are your device. They do allow some sound through, but to me it sounds like when you have like sinus issues and your ears are clogged up. That's how it sounds. Like, you can hear yourself breathing really loudly, but everything else is muffled. And I wouldn't wear these at work ever, unless I was like, feeling like I was on the verge of a meltdown. Maybe put them in for a few minutes to calm down. I would not wear these at work because I wouldn't feel like I could hear properly what was going on. I would not wear these while driving because I want to be able to hear if there's a siren or a horn or like a weird tire sound or my music. Like, I would not be able to hear my music properly with these in. So what are they good for? The other day I was at a restaurant and behind me was a family. There was a small child, and I mean, they weren't like crying or upset or anything. They were just like shrieking for the fun of it. And so I popped these babies in and I was fine. And if you're like eye to eye with somebody and having a conversation and you're pretty close, you're okay. Still, like when the waitress came by, I took it out to hear what she was saying and answer her questions properly. Partly because I don't know how loud I'm being with these in. Another place that I have used them is Walmart. Because every time I go to Walmart, there is a screaming toddler, like a really upset, screaming toddler, and they and their family just follow me through the store every single time. These are amazing for that. You could put them in and you're not hearing as much of that. It's definitely lowered. I'm not hearing as much from the people around me. I want to show you another thing. This is sold separately, but there's also a mute attachment, and it's like this little silicone piece that goes in here, and whatever sound was being let through the device is then blocked by the mute attachment. And then they're like really good earplugs. They really do muffle almost all sound. This, because I'm paranoid, would not use in public. Some people do want sound muted in public. I personally want to know if somebody's coming up behind me or if something is happening that I need to be aware of. I would never use these at work. I would never use these while driving. I would certainly not use these while walking around by myself. But if I am at home, if I have a headache, if I need to really chill out, putting these in for a little while, closing my eyes, meditating or something, these would be perfect for that. And some people might just use them normally. I personally feel like I need to hear what's happening around me. So these are for like special use, but these are my daily use. These filter out frequencies and like high pitches and stuff, distortions. These actually muffle sound. And with the mute attachment in, it's just like regular old earplugs in your ears. So let's talk about why I feel the need to wear these on the daily. We talked about the high pitch thing that I hear constantly. That's part of it, but also there is something called misophonia, and I found that these do help with that, but they don't like, I don't guess they helped as much as some people have said that they helped them. But what misophonia is a like a disorder where you massively overreact to certain sounds, and it's very situational, which means that sometimes the sounds may set you off and sometimes they may not, depending on the situation. And it's also not always just auditory, it can even be visual. And so I'm going to explain it in terms of what I deal with, what my triggers are for it, and because that's all I know. So for me, the biggest one, and honestly, I think the ones that I deal with are like the main ones for pretty much everybody, or at least the most common ones. And the biggest one is people eating, like chewing sounds, especially like clacking your teeth together. I don't know what sort of people like enjoy the ASMR of like watching and hearing people eat, but it's like my nightmare. So I'm usually okay if I'm also eating in a situation where other people are eating, because then I'm hearing myself. I'm distracted by the food and by conversation that might be taking place. It's a problem if I'm there and someone is nearby and I can hear them eating. It is so gross. And I don't just feel disgusted by it. I feel irrational anger. Like, I need to stop this by any means necessary kind of anger. And a lot of people, if your default's not rage, which mine always is, will like become upset and like sob uncontrollably or have to leave or like start shaking or something like that. It's like a panic attack basically. So other situations where it's not really a problem for me, I like in a restaurant where it's really noisy and typically you're focused on the people you're with talking and stuff. I don't hear the people around me eating. I'm not watching them eat, so it's not a problem. I do cafeteria duty, and the kids eating don't bother me there because I don't hear them. I'm not watching them eat. I'm watching what's going on in the whole room. However, in my classroom, you're not allowed to eat. I will flip out if I like think kids are eating because I can't stand it. First of all, it's also messy and I don't want that in the class. But also, I don't want to hear that, and there's no excuse for it. So, no. Nobody eats in my classroom. I can't even stand like seeing people chew because I associate that visual with the sound. So even just watching a person's mouth move, like in the advertisements, they'll show like somebody biting into something and like chewing exaggeratedly. I will gag. I will flip out if I watch that. It's so gross. In a movie theater, when somebody sits next to you and starts crunching on popcorn, I think that should be illegal. Nobody should have popcorn in a movie theater that I paid a lot of money to watch this movie. So yeah, I don't like that sort of thing. Also, repetitive sounds like ticking clocks or dripping faucets. I will hear a faucet dripping in a noisy room. Be like, could you turn that off? That's dripping. Make that stop. And of course the high-pitched noises. And if you get like repetitive high-pitched noises, that is awful. Hospitals are awful. And I know the people working there just like learn to tune that out. But that constant like beeping sounds going on drive me nuts. I can't stand alarms or sirens for the same reasons. It's repetitive, it's high pitched, it's literally painful for me. I just react in ways that seem crazy. And so you see people way overreacting to sounds that are just like normal everyday sounds, then that person has misophonia, and what their reactions are not like 100% in their control at that point. Learning to avoid those sounds is a big one. Like, for instance, I would never work in a hospital. That would be a really bad choice for me. Probably being a plumber would also be out. Learning to deal with those problems with things like earplugs. See, I have these and I carry these around with me. So I need like emergency earplugs. That's what these are. These are like my 911 earplugs. Just always being prepared for unexpected and unpleasant sounds. Being able to calm yourself down, knowing calming strategies, without like completely masking what's happening to you. Also being able to handle that appropriately in public. Like, I would not berate, I hope, a person for doing something like that, but I might ask them to stop or, say, hey, I'm not liking this sound. Can we make that quit? Just learning to address it in a calmer manner than screaming at them or something. So that is another sensory issue, and I will be making more videos with other sensory issues. I just wanted to highlight this one especially because of the earplugs. I've had a few people ask me about the earplugs that I wear, and so I wanted to let everybody know exactly what they were. As far as like price, these are pretty much comparable, but the mute attachments are sold separately for the loop. You might be interested in just one, or you you might be interested in having both like I do and kind of switching them out based on your needs in that specific situation. And I have definitely rambled way too long. So I'm going to stop this video now. See you next time. Bye.